Well, now, as a daughter of Liberty, one of the things that we would have focused on would be making all of our own cloth. And one of the most essential cloths that was used for many of our undergarments and also for heavy utilitarian items was linen. Now, linen is made out of flax, and flax is a plant. The plant is super easy to grow. It grows in 3 months. And it is harvested after 3 months by pulling up the whole plant by the roots so that you get the maximum length of fiber without disrupting any of the plant. This is called a strick, S-T-R-I-C-K, and they would be hung in the rafters or somewhere suspended so they wouldn't get in, anything wouldn't get into them. Flax is wonderful in that it is not bothered by moths. It is a plant fiber. And the only thing that would bother it would be silverfish. So it can be stored for a very long time, and this is the unit of measure when you bought flax. So not everyone grew their own, and if some who did grow their own wanted to sell it, they would sell it by the strick. So then once you have a strick and you want to use it, you would untie this little end up here, and you shake it out. So here is some of a loosened strick. And you can see by this one just how long the flax fibers are. This is a loosened strick, and there are many of these little bundles inside that rolled up one. And so, like I said before, the fibers are anywhere from 22 to 36 inches long. The beauty of flax is in the length of the fibers. They are extremely strong. They are not always easy to spin. They have to be treated rather carefully to not be messed up. And if you're organizing your flax and are combing it or making it so that it's nice and smooth to spin, you will end up with a gnarled little bundle like this. This is still useful, and it is called tow. Young children who worked in the fields would wear things made out of tow, and one of the biggest things that was made out of tow were tow bags. This is the spun thread. This is a thread that is ready to be used, that is just spun for weaving or knitting, doesn't matter. Linen itself, the beauty of linen is it has no stretch. So when you make something out of linen and you finish it, that is the size that it's going to be. It doesn't stretch. And so where there are uses that can't tolerate stretch, linen is the ideal item. And hemp is just another version of linen. So a lot of the sails for ships would be linen. All the paintings that were painted on canvas, it was linen. The bodies that were wrapped and buried were all buried in linen, starting with the Egyptians. So linen was an incredibly valuable resource, and it was the most prolific agricultural product in early American culture. Now, what we have here also is, I said linen has no stretch. It also absorbs water very well, and it dries very quickly, and it doesn't wear out. You saw how long the fibers were. They're 22 to 36 inches long. You can make linen into something that has stretch. So I have spun this linen in not a particularly fine spin, but this is a market bag. And the way I got the stretch into the market bag was with the stitch that I used when I was knitting. So I can put a lot of weight in this market bag, irregularly shaped items. Anything will fit in here if it goes in through the opening, and there's no way that it will break because it's linen. So that is the flax itself, and now I'm going to spin a little. This is a distaff. I am going to be demonstrating how to spin flax. And once it's spun, it is called linen yarn. And this is the precursor to anything that you have that is made out of linen. For instance, this under petticoat that I'm wearing is made out of linen. It is woven, and it would be made out of one strand of linen as you weave, whereas if you knit, you would make 2 strands. Now, one of the things about this particular flax that I have is that it is grown in this country in Pennsylvania. And there are very few places now that grow flax of the old variety. Most of the flax that is grown now is grown for a different market. It's not grown for the old-fashioned hand-spun linen market. It's grown for a manufactured market where industrial manufacturing requires a shorter length of fiber. The linen, the flax here is 22 to 36 inches long, and for the commercial market now, this is the longest fiber that you can obtain, which is a little bit longer than 12 inches. If you generally, without paying a lot of attention, ask to buy flax for spinning, this is what you get, which is only about 5 inches of linen. It is very short, and it is spun not from a distaff. You really have no way of dressing a distaff with a fiber that is only 5 inches long and being able to draw it down off the top of the distaff. So pulling this fiber out, you can see how short it is compared to what I have here. The difference is that linen may look like linen, it may feel like linen, but it will not wear like the old-fashioned linen of 100 years ago or more. So this linen that I have, this flax that I have on here, was grown, as I said, grown in Pennsylvania by heritage farmers who were trying to replicate how linen products were made and how flax was grown for years. They used a lot of the products of the linen. There was also linseed oil, which was used to thin paints and as a preservative. There's also flax seed, that is used for meal and for eating, for food for people as well as animals. A lot of uses for flax seed. So this is the innards of the fiber that comes here to us after a long processing technique. And I'm going to spin it now on this little wheel, which is of German ancestry. This little wheel is made for spinning flax. It has 2 drive bands. One drive band goes around the wheel and around the spindle, which does the spinning. And the spindle just twists repeatedly until it's twisted up. And then the second drive band goes around the holding device, the storage device, the bobbin. The bobbin accumulates the flax that I have spun into linen thread, and it is being turned at a slightly faster rate so that the linen thread will slowly over time wind up on the bobbin without me doing anything else. I don't have to feed it in, it just draws it in very slowly. So now to start the wheel turning, I'm going to use my foot to get it turning, and then I use just a little lick of on my fingers to get the linen twisted together. Normally, if I were spinning for real, I would have a cup of water or a sponge, something that was absorbent that had water in it, and I would put it right in the little tin-colored cup that's in the center of my wheel. And as you can see, the bench has a very steep angle, so it would have to be something that was absorbent that would actually hold the water in place. And I would dip my fingers in there as I spin, and that would keep the fuzz down on the linen as the yarn comes into the bobbin. The flax itself, you can see as I'm pulling down, the fibers are coming from up in the distaff. The distaff has an identity all of its own, and it was a very unique symbol for the work of women all through the 1700s and maybe before. Anytime you see the reference to the distaff, it means the feminine side of life. The Daughters of the American Revolution have chosen the spinning wheel and the distaff as their insignia to represent what women could do to contribute to the effort for our war for independence. Independence from England as an effort started very early on in even early 1699, 1700s. Women were starting to resist what the government was requiring of us as we produced our items and our things for our daily living. It became very burdensome. So learning to spin was a project of the Daughters of Liberty, who then taught other women how to spin. Women would come together in spinning bees and they would learn to spin. Now, the spinning flax is not something that you learn in just 1 second. Spinning flax, it's often said that you should spin for 5 years before you learn to spin flax. It just takes time and practice. children could be involved in the spinning process as early as age 4, but they probably weren't spinning flax and maybe until they were 10 or older. Now you can see there's even some places in this flax where the fibers haven't really been that cleaned out. There's just little remnants of the actual plant material still left in it. But I'm just pulling down just the number of fibers that I need at a time to get incorporated into the yarn. And spinning it dry so there's still a few little fuzzies. But that ought to do.